fan frustration.
All right, so my fan frustration this week is basically, well, we already touched up on it, but Greg Van Roten, former Panther, current Jets guard, he hopped on a radio show this past week and called Cam. Well, you know what? Let's just toss it to sound. Take a listen to what Greg Van Roten had to say about his former quarterback in the AFC East.
It's definitely terrifying to think about if Cam Newton's healthy and he's in a Belichick's offense, in my division. Could be a long year for the other teams because he's a game changer. He came into the league, he's a league MVP, brought the team to a Super Bowl. He's just built differently than, a lot of quarterbacks. It's definitely a recipe for disaster for the rest of the league if they can figure it out.
So if you thought that sounded familiar, it's because it does. It's basically what I just said. Cam Newton in the AFC East with the Patriots, Bill Belichick. It's a scary thought. But this is such a Jets thing. This is such a loser's mentality. Greg Van Roten being like, oh, Cam is, oof. He's in the AFC East, huh? Yeah, that's rough. I mean, I kind of thought we had a chance, but now we don't. And it's scary. It's terrifying. He called it terrifying. He said it could be a long year. Yeah, it's going to be a long year. Because when you think it's going to be a long year, when you have the loser's mentality going into it, yeah, you're going to lose. You're going to lose a lot. You're going to lose 2 games to the Patriots. And by the way, just as a bonus, since you think you're going to lose and you think it's going to be a long year, let's tack on 2 more losses to the Bills. Now you're 0-4, Greg Van Roten. And guess what? It's your fault for perpetuating this loser's mentality to the Jets. Thank you very much.
That's rough. Yeah, I wouldn't want anyone on my team talking, oop, he's going to be scary. I want my team.
You can hop on a radio show and be like, look, I worked with Cam. He's a pro's pro. He's going to bring a legitimate quarterback under center for the Patriots, and they're dangerous. But then you have
That's how you approach it.
Then you have to add, but we're dangerous too. We have Sam Darnold. He's been in this offense longer than Cam's been in his offense, so I like our chances. You always have to end it on a positive note. Even if we know that you are terrified. You can't just say, oh, God, Cam's back. Oh, can I go back to the Panthers, please? I'd rather play in the NFC South. No, you can't do that. You just have to accept that the boogeyman is in your closet, turn on the lights, and go head-to-head. Okay? This is such a Jets thing to do. Such a Jets thing to do.
My fan frustration for this week is centered around the media, the elusive, the media. One thing that always frustrates me year to year is just how when I'm, high on the Raiders, I'm like, yes, we won a couple games. The media is always there just to bring me right back down. But this source material I'm going off of comes from a blog. I think it's like some Raider blog. I didn't really read much into it. Okay, look, Silver and Black Pride. It's a blog that posts a lot of Raiders articles that pop up on the news feed. And the article, I didn't read it. The headline was enough for me. And it said, it's eerie how much Josh Jacobs was like Todd Gurley last season. Why do we have to do this? Like, why do you have to bring a sense of eerie tension between, no, what's the point? I don't like that you're going to throw this in. You must be bored. It must be summertime in the NFL because now we're just making things up. And I kind of lied. I did read a little bit of it. I read the first paragraph, then I got tired of it. And it was like, the Josh Jacobs last season called up Todd Gurley and asked him for some advice because that's the type of player he wanted to emulate. And then it went through a whole bunch of stats where him and Josh Gurley were similar, basically trying to illustrate that it might not be looking good for Josh Jacobs because, as we know, Todd Gurley is not even on the Rams anymore. And his injuries have left his legacy kind of questionable. So I just didn't like the comparison, and I just didn't understand the need. Why? A lot of the frustration behind being the Raiders fan is just the why around everything surrounding them. It's, again, nothing that the team did to personally affect me. It's just all the around stuff that gets me frustrated as a Raiders fan. And I'm going to actually end this on a good note. Trent Brown, the O lineman for the Raiders, went on the Lefko show with Bleacher Report, and he said Josh Jacobs is special. And I was like, that's the type of thing I needed to hear today, because I guess we're all talking about Josh Jacobs. I guess it's because the Madden ratings and stuff came out. But I didn't like the negative approach from the Silver and Black Pride. Wasn't a fan of that, but I'm glad that at least my players, because they're personally mine, my players know how to approach the media when talking about their team, unlike some.